Hi everyone, welcome to this new video. So one of the questions that I got in the comment section was that why did the acquisition of Cogno by Exotel happen? For those who don't know, Cogno was acquired by Exotel last year. This was announced in I think November 2021, and now I am a part of the Exotel team, and our entire Cogno family is a part of the Exotel team. So essentially, Exotel founders are known to be very resilient founders. They have built a solid business over the last decade, and this was the major reason for us getting acquired by Exotel. Now, I will explain in detail how things panned out, right? What was the sequence of events? So, back in 2017, when I started Cogno with my earlier co founder, we were introduced, uh, we got an introduction to Exotel founders by someone who was a common friend. So this gentleman was an investor at Bloom Ventures. So Bloom is an investor in Exotel, and he is also a professor at IIT Bombay in the sense that he's a part-time faculty member in the entrepreneurship department. So he had connected us with Exotel founders, but back then we really didn't know what to do, right? We had just started the company. We wanted to do something around voice bots, but we had no idea how to acquire customers, how to build a business, how to build a product. So we didn't really follow up on that. So this is 2017, almost 5 years back. Now, what happened was in IIT Bombay, there's an incubation center called SIGN, Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. SIGN has an advisory board, which means there are alumni of from the institute who are in some ways associated with the incubation center, and they provide mentorship to startups. So if I'm not wrong, this was August 2019, pre-COVID, yes. So SIGN conducted an advisory board meeting, and they brought all the advisors and all the startups also which were SIGN incubated. Needless to say, we also went to this meeting, and one of the advisors who we met was Mr. Abhay Pandey. He was the former managing director of Sequoia India, and he is an IIT Bombay computer science alum. So I met him, and I was quite excited. I mean, not from an investor perspective, but generally what he had done was very interesting. And he was currently, when I say currently, I mean at that time, running a fund called A91 Partners, which invest in late stage companies, probably Series B, Series C, right? They invest large ticket size. We at that time were pretty early stage, seed stage, or pre Series A stage. I will not call it pre Series A, seed stage maybe is a better description of where we were at that time. So we exchanged cards, and I chased him for another meeting. The purpose was not to get money, the purpose was to generally meet him, get his perspective on what we were doing, the space in which we were operating, the market, right? So when I met Mr. Abhay in his office in South Bombay, he connected me with his another partner called Kaushik. So it was again a general conversation around what we were doing, what is the product, what is the problem we were solving, and Kaushik gave a rough perspective on what he feels is good or bad about what we were doing. So that was a good feedback session for me, and that's what I actually wanted. Uh, After that, COVID happened in 2020 March. Our business grew quite well in the COVID period, and it was unfortunate to see all the bad situation of the country, of the world in that period. But fortunately for software companies, especially for companies like ours who are in customer communication, customer experience space, or digital enablement space, we benefited a lot. So around September of 2020, Kaushik again connected with me, and he just wanted to chat around what we were doing, how is the business going around in the COVID period, right? And we had a casual call, and it was at that time they were talking to Exotel for an investment. Needless to say, I did not know about it, right? Kaushik also did not told me about it, did not tell me about it, because these things are supposed to be confidential. So when we interacted, he told me that he is friends with Exotel founders, and he connected me with them over email. So I interacted with Shivku this, I think, around October or November 2020. So that was my first interaction with Shivku, who is the founder of Exotel, and Shivku expressed interest in some sort of partnership in the form of let's say just staying business partners, which is us selling their products to our customers or them selling Cogno's product to their customers. That was one way. A possible investment from Exotel into Cogno, a possible investment from Shivku into Cogno, right? So that kind of partnership model was being discussed. So my thought was that let's work together for a few months as business partners, and then a deeper partnership in the form of, let's say, capital infusion or investment can be explored at a later stage. My perspective is like this because once I have taken money from someone and sold my equity, I cannot get it back. And I mean, if I don't like them, somehow I can't press an undo button and break the partnership. So that's why my thought was, let's work as business partners with a notice period of 1 or 2 months, and then if everything pans out well, then equity infusion, capital infusion, all of that can be done. So that's how the conversation started. But around, I think, January or February 2021, Shivku expressed interest in acquiring us. Uh, we had just ended our conversations of acquisition with one of the competing companies of Exotel, and the conversations did not go well. The reason was that they were interested in majorly share swap. Share swap is good, but I would rather hold my own company shares than someone else's company shares, because we are smaller, we are agile, and our shares are growing fast. So we were interested in some form of cash compensation as a part of the deal. And in fact, the cash was not just for us to make money, but was for us to de-risk ourselves in case the transaction does not go well, in case it turns out that it was not a good synergy, then we should not be left without any upside at all, right? Because we were running a profitable business, Cogno was profitable, growing quite fast. So it makes sense that when we partner with someone, there should be some portion of the value that we have created that is paid as cash to be able to de-risk ourselves for the efforts that have been already put in over the last 3.5 to 4 years. So that's why when I started speaking to Shivku, I felt that again a similar offer will come with a very small, barely any cash compensation, and much of it will be share swap. So I was not really interested in having a conversation with him at that time. So the discussions sort of dried out, and in July 2021, again I think I remember there was some Twitter post about how the Sequoia team members who made it big in their life, and Kaushik's name was also mentioned in that Twitter post. So Kaushik and I were already chatting informally. So it was more from a mentorship perspective, not really a transaction perspective. And I just copy pasted that Twitter post to him saying, "Congratulations, I saw your name over here." And that's when Kaushik again said, "Why don't we chat, right? Exotel has raised funds and they are in a much better position to offer a cash compensation as well." So this, around January 2021, A91 partners put in money in Exotel, and that was announced. And this I'm talking July 2021. So I think in June again another round from A91 partners was announced. So A91 was now a known, or a publicly known shareholder in Exotel, that they had invested some, I think, if I'm not wrong, 40 crores plus 45 crores, about 95 crores of money in Exotel. So Exotel was sitting with the cash in their balance sheet, plus A91 partners was now involved. So Kaushik and I had a conversation, and he explained me more about Exotel, what they were building, and that they were in a much better position to provide us partial cash, right, as a part of the transaction. So that's when the whole conversation started steering in a different direction. By this time, frankly, we were also starting to see the heat of COVID second wave, the Delta wave in our business. If you remember correctly, April, May, June were the months when Delta really became bad in India, and July was the month in which Kaushik and I were talking this conversation. So we were also feeling that a larger company can shield us better from events like COVID, because they have more money, more resources, access to capital if required, more capital, right? So it will help us protect our business from unfortunate events like Delta. So in the first wave, we were really not impacted because first wave was not as deadly. People went to their homes but gradually started working. In second wave, it was really, really bad. It was very unfortunate. many people, many of our customers, right, the people who we were interacting with, the points of contact, they had casualties in their own families because of the Delta wave. So it's a different scenario when you are in a pandemic, which is where you are at home and there is not really a big problem, versus you have casualty in your family, right? People are not in a state of mind to work. So that's where we felt heat in Delta wave rather than in the first wave. So Kaushik told that, as I mentioned, he told me that they are in a better position now to give partial cash exit. That's when I started. The conversation became more interesting. We had a call with them. We discussed certain numbers. I proposed whatever I had in my mind from my side in terms of the cash compensation, in terms of the overall valuation. And I think within a week or so, Shivku, Ishwar, Kaushik, me and Harshita, all five of us, Ishwar is another co-founder of Exotel, all of us had a call in which an offer was made to us. We liked the offer. It was a fantastic offer, a mix of cash and equity. And we sort of immediately accepted the offer within 24 hours. Term sheets were signed within a few days, 27 July in midnight. I remember the date because 26 July is my cousin's birthday. So just one day after that, in the midnight, the term sheets were signed. And in a span of, I think, some 4 odd months, due diligence was conducted. All the discussions happened in a deeper level. The good thing was all of this happened remotely, right? So I didn't have to travel to Bangalore. I did travel around, I think, mid of September. Once that was just to interact with the team, discuss business plan, discuss the road ahead. But we didn't really meet in person for the diligence perspective. So I think that was very interesting because Exotel founders, they showed trust in Harshita and me and our team, which was very good. So we, in return, today are continuing with Exotel. And so for us personally, it is very exciting. If you look at it, we started a startup at the age of 21. We took it to $1 million revenue stage at the age of around 25, 26. Now we are a part of the leadership team at a fairly growth stage, mature stage company. And Exotel is headed towards being public in the next few years. The growth rate at which they are growing is phenomenal. So before the age of 30, Harshita and I would have seen the entire life cycle from starting to IPO, and in between an M&A happening, merger and acquisition. So that makes it very interesting for us. So definitely, I think Exotel is a great growth path or a great career trajectory for us, and we plan to continue with the team and learn more and more. So that's how the acquisition happened. As you can see, it was a long, fun year exercise, and that's how typical M&As are. They don't happen overnight. Suddenly, no one comes to you and say, "Hey, I'm giving you multi-million dollars and want to buy your company." It doesn't work that way. One needs to build relationships. One needs to take initiatives. As you saw, the initiative that we took here was to go to that sign advisory board meeting, and the chain led to the acquisition. So that's how it works. I think one has to. It is rightly said that your network is your net worth. So one has to keep on networking with the right set of people to be able to build value. I hope this video would be useful for other entrepreneurs and fellow founders. And please feel free to post any other suggestions or comments of videos which you want me to work on in the comment section below. Thank you, and please subscribe the channel.